My name is Marc Reece. I'm the digital marketing director with Copen GoldenEye Infinity, which is set to be released very soon. And today I have the Hyken. He's a customer service and experience expert. He's the chief amazement officer of Shepherd Presentations. Not only that, he's a New York Times and Wall Street Journal bestselling author. He's been inducted into the National Speaker Association Hall of Fame for lifetime achievement of speaking professionals. He works with companies and organizations who want to build loyal relationships with their customers and employees. And he's the author of numerous books, including The Convenience Revolution that's due out in October, which we'll talk about shortly. Shep is he has a lot of requested programs, but his focus is on customer service, customer loyalty, and internal service, customer relations with the customer experience. There.
Well done. Well done, Marc.
It's a mouthful. Thank you for taking time to meet with us today. I very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you. By the way, if we sent you this, it should have said, this is the very boring bio. And then on the other side is a 2-sentence introduction of Shep. And that's it. But, but you did a very good job because, it should be short. If the guy's good, get on with it. If he's bad, get it over with. Short is better no matter what.
Well, I emphasized amazement officer. So
there you go. We're trying.
So cool. Let's get on with that. So again, I appreciate you taking time. We are going to be talking about customer service and technology and kind of an overall field, especially in the area of field service. And Shep, one of the things at Copen, especially on the GoldenEye Infinity team, is we believe in human first technology because it's all about the user experience for us and increasing productivity and efficiency. And we know that the customer experience is more important than ever nowadays, specifically with the YouTube and a lot of companies competing for that customer. In field service, though, it's to deal with response times and preventing service failures and really empowering customers with what I call customer self-service. But in a way, and in some ways, technology is kind of hindering customer service. And in other ways, these technicians need to have a broader range of skills and be broader problem solvers to provide a better customer experience. What's your take on that?
So I agree. No, I'm just, I just had to.
He agrees. Thank you folks for joining.
Yeah, no, seriously. So there's a bunch of comments that you made and it all ties into what's going on here. So as it goes to field service, and you mentioned we want to empower the customer. How do you empower a customer? Let me jump to a different example. And that is, let's make the customer empowered when it comes to getting a car to take them somewhere. In other words, Uber or Lyft or one of these services. So it used to be you pick up the phone, you call a taxi cab, and this ties into the whole convenience thing we'll talk about in a little while, but it also ties into field service because, hey, when's my cable TV guy going to come here? Or I'm in the office, the copy machine's down, or maybe I'm in the manufacturing facility and one of my pieces of equipment are down. When are they going to be here? Well, if I can open up my app and I can look and I can see the little car driving down the street like I do with Uber or Lyft, doesn't that make things easier? That empowers me to get that information on my own. And then I feel better because I can see what's happening in real time. So I love the concept you had, empower the customer, but also we need to empower the people that are going out and actually delivering the service. And that's the other side of it. So what tools are we giving them to be able to do the most effective, most powerful job possible to make that customer happy? Because here's the thing. If you're going to come out to my facility or you're going to come to my home, I want it to be one time. When customers call a customer support center, they don't want to have to talk to 5 people. They don't want to have to repeat their story over and over and over again. They want to get to the first person who's knowledgeable, who's helpful, who's nice, and is giving them the information that they want to have, and they get off the phone. Same thing in field service. Let's send the right person out there to do the job. And when they're out there, and I know that your technology can help diagnose the job, and they could be talking to an expert back in the office and being told, hey, this is what you need to do. This is where we can, streamline the process, make it easier. You don't have to go back out there. I can go on and on. But are these the kinds of things, Marc, that you're talking about? A simple yes or no is fine.
Yes, it is. Yeah, yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and we'll hope you enjoy the show. No.
Thank you. No, that's what it is, because what happens is if you have a less experienced rep, and we'll talk about this in a second, but the aging field service workforce, where these people, these well-trained, well-experienced field service technicians are getting ready to leave, and what's happening is we're bringing in a lot of younger, less experienced technicians in the field. And what happens is, because they don't have that experience, and there's this tribal knowledge that all these older technicians are going to take with them, we have to ramp those people up. And what our technology is actually going to help do is hopefully keep the aging workforce in, so they don't have to travel, but have that remote expertise to, again, improve the customer experience. So if the technician comes out to the house or on the job and he's stuck, which he may very well be, he can literally video conference in that expert. The expert can see exactly what the technician sees, and hopefully they can diagnose it, which I think is going to lead to a much better customer service experience. And
kind of like, we've got our captains piloting the aircraft, but we've got the people in the tower helping to direct things and make sure everybody gets down safely.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you a question. In your experience, what you see, it to me, and I'm probably dead wrong on this, but it seems like there's a lack of customer service, and it seems like it's not a top priority anymore, where it's more about, let's get the job done, and if we have to go back, we'll go back, because people expect bad customer service nowadays.
I don't think people expect bad customer service. I think many people hope to get it, and sometimes they're let down. But let's talk about some numbers to support what I'm about to say. Last year, New Voice Media came out with a great study. Actually, it was this year, but their last year's numbers, that $75 billion was lost due to poor customer service, that people switch to a different company when they don't get the service that they want or expect. Now that number's up from like 62 billion the year before, or 2 years before, and 2 years before that, that number was in the 30s. So you can see progressively more and more money is lost because of poor service. Now, the reality is, for the most part, companies are figuring out that they need to deliver service, so they're trying to do it. But what's happened, and this is where it gets kind of interesting, is that customers are smarter than they used to be. Even in just the last few years, they now know what great service is, because there's great companies out there that are teaching them and training them on what to expect. And many companies are even advertising that they deliver great service, and maybe they do and maybe they don't. But here's the key. The customer is no longer comparing you to your direct competitor. They are comparing you to the last and best service they ever had. And that's now the new benchmark. Not even from what you do and in your industry. It could be a guy that sells shoes at the department store who is amazing, who is helpful, who found the best shoes and the best price. Why can't everybody be as good, as knowledgeable, and as helpful as this guy? So that's what's happening. So our customers are smarter, and even though we're getting better, we may not be keeping up with the expectation. And by the way, I say we're getting better because the American Customer Satisfaction Index shows that even from just a few years ago, overall customer satisfaction in most every type of industry is getting a little bit better. Whether it's enough or not is another story, but it is getting better.
I think what's important too is that, especially as technology gets smarter and more technological or more advanced, these technicians that are going to go out into the field, or anybody for that matter, they're going to have to know how to fix this. And I can't tell you, we had a guy that come out to the house to fix the dishwasher. It was a relatively new dishwasher, and I assumed that he knew how to fix a dishwasher because that's what they do. And he got stuck, and then he had to make phone calls, and then he had to go back, and then he had to go get back and get a part. And the whole thing was just very frustrating because, again, it was that customer experience and that lack of knowledge. So in this era of the customer, what are some trends you expect we'll see, trends that companies really shouldn't ignore, especially in the areas of augmented reality or virtual reality?
Sure. Let's talk about what you just described, where the guy had to go back and get a part that he didn't know he needed. Now, what is a cool technologically based way of knowing this information? I don't know. What kind of car do you drive? This is a personal question, right?
I drive an SUV.
An SUV.
Yeah.
Is it a General Motors SUV?
Actually, it's a GMC Acadia.
Okay, great. So GMC, do you have like an OnStar type program?
I do.
Great. So what would happen is, if you hit a bump in the road and you went out of alignment, do you know what's going to happen? Is that your car dealer is going to be informed that you hit that pothole and that your car is now out of alignment, and now can let you know that, hey, your car needs repair. When do you want to bring it in? And, or if it's in the case of field service, something's wrong with your dishwasher. Why? Because we have, a computer-based program that allows us to get a signal when something's wrong. We need to send somebody out to fix it. And they come out with the right part before, without even you even knowing that. That's the place we're headed right now. And you're going to see this happening in all types of different businesses. Right now, like a copy machine, there's technology in your copy machine that says when you get down to a certain level where your inks are getting low, ink is automatically sent to you. Okay. Whether it's 1 month from now or 3 months from now, that computer is sending a signal to the ink manufacturer, the supplier, or whoever sold you the copy machine. Same thing's happening with automobiles. Same thing's happening with consumables in your refrigerator. So this is where we're headed. And when the technician shows up, the technician is ready and knows what's going on and can deliver a great service experience. By the way, they're going to fix it because that's what the customer expects. But on top of that, they're going to engage the customer in such a way that endears not only the rep, but also the whole company to that customer, so that the customer says, I like doing business with them. They're knowledgeable, they're friendly, they're always on time, they're always clean, they always get the job done, they always take care of me. Always followed by something positive is where you want to be.
And that's actually great. And I think that ties into the training that companies need to do. They really need to train their techs. But more important, what happens though is you can have the best classroom environment and you can train for the best possible outcomes. But at the end of the day, you're going to get into the field. And I think a lot of on-the-job training, specifically with newer techs, is going to happen. Do you see that being an asset or a hindrance? So I come into your house, I'm going to fix your dishwasher. I really don't know what your problem is, but I have somebody that can remote into that problem, can see exactly what I'm fixing. Do you see that as being a help or a hindrance?
A huge help. Well, and I know that's what you're paying me to say. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Have not been paid. I didn't even know who you were until we got on just like 2 minutes before the show started. But seriously, no, how can that not be helpful? I mean, remote in, and that's what basically what we're doing is we're taking that computer screen share. When I go and I'm talking to support about the software program, do you mind if I can get in and take a look at your screen? You're doing the same thing with live in-person technology that allows you to say, hey, let me take a look at this dishwasher. Let me take a look at this whatever. And because of your abilities, you're able to have somebody back in the home office, some expert say, hey, you know what? I can see exactly what the problem is and direct you and support you in every which way. By the way, that in no way hinders the credibility that a business could have with their client or their customer. I'll give you an example. This is what we train people. If somebody asks you a question and you do not know the answer, don't say, I don't know. Right. Don't say, let me go find somebody that has the answer. Say, that is a great question. And you know what? I'm going to make sure I get you the right answer. If you can hold on just a moment, or maybe I have to call you back, I'm going to confer with one of my colleagues. Now, that is a perfectly acceptable answer. And by the way, that answer gives the customer confidence that, hey, these guys are happy to, even when they don't know the answer, they're going to go find the answer. They're not going to make one up.
That's a great point. Let's talk a little bit about user experience and how it impacts technology, in particular adoption, because adoption seems to be a huge challenge for a lot of companies when it comes to technology and augmented reality and virtual reality, smart screens, smart glasses, et cetera. And you're going to start seeing a lot of these in 2019, 2020. What are we all missing? And what do you think some of those barriers are for adoption, if you can answer that?
And are you talking about adoption from the customer standpoint or from the company standpoint?
From the company standpoint.
Well, I tell you what, if you've got a solution that you believe is going to work for them, my suggestion is put it in their hands and let them play with it, try it, and give them the demo. And, it's kind of like when you buy your shoes from Zappos. Let me send you 3 pairs of shoes. I'm a size 10. We'll send you a 9.5, a 10, and a 10.5, and you send the ones back that don't fit. I mean, they trust us with their merchandise. You should trust customers with your, I'm saying you, not you specifically, but right. But we should trust our customers to try us out. And when they do, they see the advantage of doing so. And then they'll say, hey, I like this. This works. I'll buy it.
It's funny because when you talk about kind of like a freemium model, I think that when a company says, you know what, my product is so great, I think you're going to love it, Shep. Play with this for a week. I'm not even going to charge your credit card. Play with it for a week. You like it, you keep it. If not, send it back and we won't charge you.
I don't know what the downside of that is. I would say the only downside, if there is a downside, has nothing to do with the concept. It has to do with, will they take the time? How many times have I downloaded a demo a free 20-day or 24-day or 21-day trial of a demo on software. And on day 20, I'm going, oh, I just never got around to doing it. Now, if I had money, yeah, there you go, Mark's raising your hand. If I had money on it, skin in the game, even if it's a tiny bit, say, look, I know you're going to give me my money back if I don't like it. So 2 things about that. Number one, now that I've got skin in the game, I'm going to try it. But also, you're probably not going to get as many people to try it if you make them put skin in the game. So you have to decide what works best for you. And this is, again, this is really, I'm just observing what companies are doing out there that seem to be working. Some of them, it works great. And when you have a guarantee, I think that's probably the biggest thing. Why do people trust these infomercials that are late at night? Because if you don't like it, we will take it back. No questions asked. You just send it back. We'll give you all your money back. I think, and you've got 60 days to do it. Well, gosh, who's not going to do that, right? I mean, it's like they guarantee it. They say it over and over again. And you know what? And you go and you look in the online reviews. Nobody's complaining about not getting their money back when they, go to turn it back in. And that's probably for 1 of 2 reasons. Either they are giving the money back or the product's great. Nobody's asking for a refund.
There you go. And just so you know, if you just tuned in, we're talking to Shep and we're talking about the customer service. And if you have a question, you can just go into the chat panel. You can ask it there and I'll make sure we get it to them. And again, we're talking customer experience. At GoldenEye, and one of the things, the biggest problem going back to field service, and we mentioned earlier, is the aging workforce crisis. It really is big, especially in field service. Do you think there's an aging workforce crisis, or do you think this is kind of, more importantly, how do you think we can actually prevent this? Because the people that I've talked with in the field service are like, this is a looming crisis, and it is. But what would you tell these companies, knowing the technology and the technology that's out there, what would you tell them to kind of, it's going to be okay, give them a hug?
Well, okay, I'm going to make them feel better about this. Number one is, those great people that are maybe getting ready to retire, when they first came to work, they weren't that great. I mean, they were great people, but they didn't have the knowledge and the expertise that they built over time. You can have knowledge, but you don't have wisdom. Knowledge, you are trained and taught. Wisdom comes with experience. And many of the people that have been in the business 10, 15, 20 plus years, they've gained this wisdom, this experience that somebody new doesn't have. That's one of the reasons I love your product is it's a very convenient solution. Let's bring on good people, smart people, trainable people, because we can train people to the techniques and to all the technology. And then let's give them some support on the backside, which is somebody that isn't necessarily looking over the shoulder, but looking through the same lens that they're looking at. And therefore, you've got that support. So that's my initial thought. It's a very convenient solution to what is a potentially big problem.
I agree. We talked a little bit earlier that we mentioned that you might have a new book coming out. You might have a new book coming out in October.
Giddy up.
Look at that.
There it is. The convenience revolution. And you notice I said it was a convenient solution to a problem that people are having, which has to do with that aging workforce situation. But yeah, it's called The Convenience Revolution, subtitled How to Deliver a Customer Service Experience That Disrupts the Competition and Creates Fierce Loyalty. Who doesn't want that?
I got to tell you something. I love disruption. I think that it's probably a lot of companies like to play it safe. And there's a few companies out there that go, you know what, we are all in and we're going to blow this up. What can we expect from the book? Can you tell us a little bit about the book and kind of what we can expect about it?
So, Mark, it's all about a convenient experience. Tell me who the most convenient company you think on the planet is today.
The most convenient, I'm going to probably go with Apple.
Apple's a great one. Apple's one of them. The word I was looking for starts with an A. Amazon.
Yes, thank you.
Amazon.
Let's re-roll that tape. I think it's Amazon.
No, I think you're right. So here's what's happened. And by the way, you can see there's a straight line and there's a bunch of squigglies. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Companies like Amazon, Uber, we've already, kind of gave an idea with the taxi cab idea. And even the simplest companies that you would think, how can they create a convenient experience different from a competitor that's not technology based? Because just a little while ago, I did an interview and somebody said, so much of this is technology based. Well, Amazon is a technology digital company. I mean, they're online 24/7, open. They've got the little button you put on the side of the washing machine. You push your button and the next day your detergent shows up when you're running low. They deliver. They have one click buying where you just click it and it's magic. It like happens where, okay, your order's placed. All the things that they do, it's meant to be customer focused and convenient. And so there's 6 areas of convenience that any company can do one of them or all 6 of them. The first is reducing friction. And in every one of the 6 principles of convenience, there is an element of reducing friction. But some companies like Uber, that's what they did. They reduced friction to the point of disrupting the entire taxi cab industry. And we've already gone through how that works. But reducing friction. If you've ever gone to the airport, you stand in these long lines in security. For a little bit more money, if you want to pay, you can go to TSA Pre, which is the security company or the security administration's, I guess, premium line. Well, even that line gets a little bit long. So now there's this company that comes along a few years ago called Clear, Clear, Clear. And what that means is they clear you quicker. Once you're in the system and you pay a little bit more money, then what happens when you see that long line at regular security and even a little bit of a line at the regular TSA Pre, you go over, you put your fingers on the scanner, you show them the boarding pass, everything's cleared, and they walk you to the front of the line in front of all the people standing in line. I know it feels good sometimes to do but they've just reduced friction in the form of saving me time. So reducing friction. Then there's technology. Companies like PayPal made it real easy to transfer money from one person to the next. So easy. And a great technology. I love this app, the No Wait app. Are you familiar with the No Wait app?
I have not heard of that.
So if you are a restaurant and you sign up to be on the No Wait app program, your customers, your guests can look and see how long the wait is at the restaurant and remotely put your name on the restaurant's waiting list. And then you can actually watch your name going up the list and time your arrival to when you finally get there, there's virtually no wait. So that's using technology. Pretty cool. Self-service. What self-service type of examples? And I think you mentioned YouTube. Salesforce, for example, has a great self-service solution. They have 1,000 videos plus on YouTube. You've got a question, type in your question, and a video pops up, and you can watch that. I use Panera Bread Company or Panera Bakery. There's, I don't know, several thousand around the country, I believe, North America. They've created, like, go to the kiosk and order yourself, or go up to the line, and then you don't even have to wait for the food anymore. Just sit down, we'll bring it to you. They know where you are because they have sensors in the table that sync up with the pager that they give you so that the food runners can come out and give you the food. So it's a self-service solution. There's a subscription model like Netflix. You pay a monthly fee, you get all. Netflix destroyed Blockbuster. No doubt Blockbuster didn't keep up with the times. But, think about dog food being delivered once a month because you're going to run out of dog food. You don't have to carry that 100-pound bag of dog food to your car and out of your car and to the wherever it is. Chewies.com is a great company for that. Delivery. My automobile dealership that I now do business with, they said when I bought my car, from that point forward, they would bring a car to me every time I needed service. And by the way, it's a new car. And guess what? My wife really liked that one. She got that car. They're smart people. But I never have to go in. The guy said, the next time you come in here will be to buy another car, not to get your car serviced. Well, they disrupted the competitor just a few miles away that I've been doing business with for over 20 years. Why? Because that competitor said, no, we don't do that. And the other guy said, well, we do, and it doesn't cost any more money to do it. And then access. Access is, what are your hours of operation? 24/7 if you're a website. If I need to call you, what are your hours of customer support? How close are you to me if I want to go to you? Walmart, 90% of the population of the United States is within 10 minutes of a Walmart. That's access. Starbucks, if you go into a major city, they're like on every street corner. Yeah. That's access. So those are the ways that companies can be convenient. And every company I've talked to, everyone, I can, if not list one, I can list 2 or 3, if not all 6, that they can participate in to make life better for their customers.
I got to tell you, so we have a question I'm going to get to in a second, a viewer question, but I will tell you about the experience factor. When I was at Orlando International Airport a
Hmm.
few weeks ago, we had trouble getting an Uber, and I took a cab one day, and that was really outrageous, and it just wasn't a fun ride, and it was expensive, and we decided to try Lyft, and so I took Lyft, and this is the first cab person that drove me actually hugged when we got out of the car because the experience. I'm not kidding. I'm not a hugger. The experience was so awesome, and he was so friendly, and it was so much less expensive than the cab driver. And I'm like, that just I just gave a shout out to Lyft, and I didn't mean to. Well, I did, but it was that experience is going to make me a loyal. So you're right. The experience does make people loyal. So I have a question, and this is from somebody who's watching live. So thank you. What is the one thing leaders and executives should do as soon as they watch this to improve customer experience? One immediate action item.
Wow.
That they can take.
There's so many different things, but if they haven't already done it, put together what's called a service vision, one sentence that defines what your customer service is all about. And one of my favorites is the Ritz-Carlton's. It's 9 words long. It's "We're ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen." That's what they do. That's what they're all about. It's a service vision. I think they call it their credo. I love, there's somebody else it's a company in Nashville, Tennessee, and I can't say it exactly, but it's like it's their passion statement is what I refer to it as. It's not just a service statement, but basically we love our customers so much when we kiss them, their lips bleed. I mean, and granted, that's not, it's kind of like, that's how we're going to take care of our customers. And so I would say come up with a 1-sentence vision that everybody can remember easily, and you can constantly use it over and over again. It's not a flavor of the month. This is it. So take your time figuring it out. So that's the first thing I would do, is create that vision. And then from there, you communicate it to everybody. You train everybody to it over and over and over again. And if you really want to do, then I would say the second step is really buy the book. No, I'm just kidding.
I think we should. You know what though? I got to tell you something. I think the book is needed. I think I'm going to wait for you're going to do an audio version of it.
There is an audio version. Yeah, we just sold the audio rights, so it should come out sometime real close to the same time the book is
Are
out.
Are you reading it?
No, everybody asks that, and it turns out that authors who read their own books most likely aren't as good as the people that can read them for. And I agree.
I'm going to disagree with you because I think you have an amazing voice. I think your personality. This has been a great interview, Shep, and I can't wait. Yeah, no, it really has. I mean, your passion comes through, and I would recommend when the book is coming out in October.
October the 2nd. However, you don't have to wait till October 2nd. How do we do that? So go to beconvenient.com, www.beconvenient.com. And if you buy the book today, you'll get the hardbound in October, but you will get the ebook immediately sent to you via email right away. Boom, done. Amazing and convenient.
And if people want to get a hold of you, is there a way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, actually straight from that website, or just go to hyken.com.
Excellent. Shep, I really appreciate you taking time. And if we can help you promote the book, I'd be more than happy to.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I know we've got a lot of people watching our live presentation, and thanks for tuning in, and go check out the book. There's a video at that website telling you more about the book. And Mark, thank you and your team. I think what you're doing, the technology you've created is awesome. It's exactly what's needed for the situation that some of these companies who go out and do the field work, they need it. So thank you.
And maybe when the book comes closer out, we can get you back on, because I have other questions that I want to ask, but I want to be respectful of your time.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Marc Reece from GoldenEye, and we'll be launching our product shortly. Thank you so much. And goldeneye.com, golden-eye.com. I'm Marc Reece, the Digital Marketing Director. Thanks again to Shep Hyken, our guest, and we will see you next week. Thank you.